Assalamu alaikum. In this video we will discuss Neisseria gonorrhea. Neisseria gonorrhea belongs to Neisseria genus. Neisseria gonorrhea has no polysaccharide capsule, but it has multiple serotypes on the basis of antigenicity of the pilus proteins. There is marked antigenicity or antigenic variation in the Neisseria gonorrhea because of these pili. There are almost 100 serotypes on the basis of this pilus protein. There is a protein called protein 2 that plays a role in the attachment of this organism. This organism is the gram-negative Diplococcus, and it has endotoxin, that is lipo-oligosaccharide, that is different from the endotoxins of other organisms, that is lipopolysaccharide. Therefore, it does not contain the lipopolysaccharide, it contains the lipo-oligosaccharide. This organism is oxidase positive. It means that it has an enzyme cytochrome C. Now we will discuss the pathogenesis and transmission of this organism. This organism is transmitted only humans to humans and infects only humans. It is transmitted sexually, and it is transmitted also from mothers to the newborns during the birth. So newborns are infected during birth. Symptomatic infection occurs in men, but mostly in case of females, the infection remains asymptomatic until complications occur. Now we will discuss the virulence factors of Neisseria gonorrhea. The virulence factors of Neisseria gonorrhea are: the first one is pili. The pili are responsible for providing the attachment to mucosal cell membranes or cell surfaces and are anti-phagocytic, and therefore prevents the phagocytosis of Neisseria gonorrhea. The second virulence factor is endotoxin, that is lipo-oligosaccharide and not lipopolysaccharide, as we have discussed. Third virulence factor is outer membrane proteins, like we have discussed protein 2 that provides the antigenicity as well as attachment. The fourth virulence factor is IgA protease. This IgA protease degrades the IgA antibody, that is secretory antibody, and therefore attachment to the mucosa is easily achieved. These organisms do not have any capsule. The fifth virulence factor is porin protein, that is responsible for inactivating the C3b component of complement and therefore prevents it from the attack of the antibodies. Genital tract infections occur most commonly with the Neisseria gonorrhea, but disseminated infections can also occur with this Neisseria gonorrhea. The disseminated infections depend on the strains of the gonococci as well as the immunity of the hosts. Deficiency of the complement components like C6, C7, C8 and C9 lead a person to the risk for disseminated infections. Furthermore, in case of pregnancy, the disseminated infections are increased. Now we will discuss the clinical findings of Neisseria gonorrhea infections. In case of men, urethritis occurs, that is inflammation of the urethra, as well as dysuria occurs, that is pain during urination, and purulent discharge also occurs, as well as epididymitis, that is inflammation of the epididymis also occurs. This is a picture that shows the purulent discharge. In case of females, purulent vaginal discharge, intermittent, that is intermenstrual bleeding known as cervicitis occurs. The other complications are ascending infection of the uterine tubes known as salpingitis, and pelvic inflammatory disease can also occur, and this results in sterility of the females as well as the scarring of the fallopian tubes, and also the ectopic pregnancies can occur. Disseminated infections include arthritis, tenosynovitis, and pustules on the skin. In case of homosexual males, anorectal infections can also occur, but these can also occur in case of females. Eyes infections or infections of eyes can also occur in the children at the time of birth. This is known as ophthalmia neonatorum. This infection occurs at the time of birth. This infection can also occur in the adults. Now we will discuss the lab diagnosis of Neisseria gonorrhea infection. In case of males, the finding of gram-negative diplococci within the polymorphonuclear neutrophils in a urethral discharge specimen is sufficient for the diagnosis of Neisseria gonorrhea. While for specificity, we culture the organisms on the Thayer-Martin medium. It is a chocolate agar in which we use vancomycin, colistin, trimethoprim, and nystatin to kill the normal flora. Oxidase positive gram negative diplococci are seen in the culture. Further confirmation occurs through the maltose oxidation or maltose fermentation, because these organisms do not ferment the glucose and therefore Neisseria gonorrhea is detected. Other tests are nucleic acid amplification test, NAT, and fluorescent antibody staining. Now we will discuss the treatment for the infections of Neisseria gonorrhea. The drug of choice that is used to treat the uncomplicated gonococcal infections is ceftriaxone. It is the drug of choice. But in case of patients who are allergic to ceftriaxone, we use azithromycin or ciprofloxacin. We can also use the drugs in combination, for example azithromycin and doxycycline, etc. Prevention. For prevention, we should use condoms, while in case of children we use the erythromycin drops at the time of. These erythromycin drops are used to prevent the infections at the time of birth, that is ophthalmia neonatorum. Thank you for watching.